Hello. So the other night, I'm writing down different dates on my little whiteboard. Dates of, we'll call them, I call them disaster dates, and you have your own. And they are the dates on which certain things happened, certain things you found out about, certain things you discovered some things. Disaster dates. And I'm writing them all down. Not to dwell, but it helps sometimes to remember them so as to stave off any cravings to get a fix. You follow me? So, like, in other words, you can't forget them or allow them to get swallowed up by feelings of missing them or getting triggered to go back or what have you. So I was writing all these dates down so they're in front of my face. While I'm looking at the list, I realized, oh my God, and whatever your date is, you plug in here. If I had held firm on June 15th, I would never, ever, ever have experienced June 27th. Wouldn't have experienced it. Or July 8th, or July 12th, or September 18th, or whatever your date is. You get what I'm saying. I would never have sung Gladys Knight in the Kitchen a few weeks ago. If I had held fast on the first time you knew, you have a gut feeling, you know it's right to throw them out, end the relationship, do whatever it is that you did. And maybe you're still in it, and you can kind of think about this in your own path right now. I would never, if I had stuck by June, ever have sung Gladys Knight in the Kitchen. He would have been long gone by now. I would never even, I might have been, do you know what I'm saying? So when I think about, you have your own dates, you have your own details, and you think about what we could have missed, never seen, never been hurt by, never found out about, never been right about again. Never, I've become obsessed with the idea of how spared I could have been, you could have been, had we only stuck with June 15th. Think about the gazillions of times past your June 15th, whatever that date is and whatever it represents. If you had stuck with that original date, the sparing of pain and toil and tears and trauma that you could have avoided if you stuck with it, which is a glaring motivation to me to stick by no contact or blocking, or whatever it is that you're properly doing to try to stop licking mommy, to try to make them exit from your life if you are indeed at that point. If you're still with them, still bank this information. Every time something happens, go through just the last week in your life. If you had, maybe you can't leave, okay? And we have to be empathetic to those that cannot. But you certainly maybe doesn't make any sense, but you perhaps can change little behaviors to make your life less all about their needs and start trying to pay attention to your own. Because I think we do definitely take on more abuse by not listening to our hearts and minds and intuition from the beginning, or from June 11th. Whenever it hit you, whenever something hit you, and we all have a moment, yes? Where, oh my God, yeah, I knew that was wrong. I just thought I was being too sensitive. No, you're not being too sensitive. Probably you knew what was up. And I had a girlfriend once say to me, it's never less than what you think it is, right? We all know that. It's never less. We sit there and hope for like the Hollywood ending, like, oh, he's going to come to me and say none of that was true. It's never less than what you think. It's probably worse than what you think, times 10. Oh my God. So if you have a list of dates in your mind, you have to think about And I always snap right back into loving my path as it is. But you have to think about what pain you could prevent yourself from experiencing if you stick with your date sooner. I'm not saying I would undo my path, because again, I've learned to really like my path. I have to think about accepting my path the way it is, because I needed that lesson that way. That's why I needed that to happen to me. That's why I went past June 11th, because I needed the lesson to walk me right up and punch me in my face. I would not have learned the lesson otherwise. I've talked about that before. So that's why, in the big scheme of why, my God, past June 11th, that's why. I needed it all to happen. But now we know, right? Now we know. So let's let the torture stop. Let's let the torture stop. If we get to a disaster date, it just may be time to stick with it as being final. Allow my path to help you avoid the same path, I guess is what I'm trying to do. I appreciate, again, my journey for me, but I would aim for preventing anyone from having to go through it for sure. Okay? I absolutely would. Basically the only guarantee we have, you have, we all have, to not have another disaster date, the only guarantee is to never again give them a moment to inflict it upon us. Voiding them from our life is the only chance we have to never have another disaster date. Because if they're in it, they will wreck it. They'll wreck something, always. So the only part of that sentence over which we have control is if they're in it. That's it. We don't have control over whether they'll wreck it. They will wreck it. The only part we have control over is if they're in our lives. So, I can't justify even my latest break in no contact. It's such a loaded path to choose, and I know better. And you know what it is? I'm so sick and tired of healing. There's a healing period after every encounter. Even the slightest encounter can have you singing Gladys Knight in the kitchen, okay? But after every disaster date, one of those poignant moments that you have, when we're in it and we have a disaster date, we have to heal after, don't we? We have to heal. We're in bed, we're flattened, we don't eat, we don't sleep, or we sleep a ton, or we eat a ton. However it manifests itself on the victim, it gets ugly. And it's no joke either. It is no joke. And the thing is, it's sad. It's truly very sad. It kills me. That place of despair, it's raw, like no other wound, and you can't relay it to someone unless they've been through it. And we have a tribe amongst ourselves because there's an inherent understanding of what we experience with these people. But I am so sick and tired of healing. And after every single encounter, as tiny as the encounter is, if you're in no contact, for example, for example, if you happen to take his phone call or listen to a message or whatever it was, boom, now you're left healing afterwards. You're left healing. It's automatically built into the equation because now you're thinking, the healing might be, is he going to call again? Can you imagine? We've gotten rid of them. We're doing no contact. We blocked them, but they leave a message and you find it in blocked messages and boom, you might be triggered to, let me just set that straight. He got that wrong. Or, let me challenge what he said. There's no possible way he's thinking of me when he's out doing this and this. And, no. No. See, that's the healing part. And I can't stand, I am so fed up to my eyeballs with healing because if I had stuck with June 11th, that's like 9 months ago, I would have been done healing. You see? So there's a 9-month past an original gut-wrenching date that you might have that I could have. Now you might be thinking, oh my God, girl, mine was 30 years ago. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't have to be 30 more years. So from whatever date you go forward and decide, I am sick and tired of healing, and you're going to maintain a certain strength past a certain date, don't go back on it. Don't go back on it. Just trust yourself. Trust your instinct. You know what's what, and you know what you can handle. You know what you can handle. Good luck to all of us. But if you have a date, intuition, stick by your guns. Stick by it, because you are right. It will not change, and nothing will ever stop. And you will continue to just have to heal over every single encounter with that person. I promise.